My parents said, "We can't afford my vacation." I stayed quiet. Then I watched my sister's kids fly first class on my money, smiling and laughing at me. Before we start, make sure to subscribe and like the video. You'll want to follow every twist of this story. Have you ever felt invisible in your own family? That's how I've felt most of my life. My name's Danny, and for years I was the guy my family called whenever something went wrong. Bills, emergencies, kids' school fees, you name it. I helped everyone. I thought that's what good sons and brothers did. But that illusion broke one random Tuesday morning at the airport. My parents had told me they couldn't afford to bring me along on their vacation to Italy. They said money was tight, that they barely managed to buy tickets for themselves, my sister Sarah, and her 2 kids. I told them not to worry. I even helped pay for a few of Sarah's bills the week before. I felt proud, like I was supporting them when they needed it most. Fast forward 3 weeks. I'm at the airport, about to board a business trip I'd been saving for. Nothing fancy, just a small getaway to reward myself. Then I hear a voice behind me. My mom's voice. "Liam, put your backpack down, honey. You don't need it. The seats are big enough." That sentence hit me like a punch. I turned around, and there they were. My mom, my dad, my sister Sarah, and her kids, all laughing, dressed in matching vacation shirts, standing in the priority boarding line. And then I saw the sign, "First Class." At first, I honestly thought maybe it was a coincidence. Maybe they were just seeing someone off. But no, my dad handed his ticket to the agent and said, "4 for Rome." Rome. The same destination they'd told me they couldn't afford to take me to. My heart started pounding. My palms were sweating. I didn't even know what to do. Approach them? Pretend I didn't see? My brain just shut down. Then I heard my mom laugh and say, "I still feel bad we couldn't take Danny." Sarah rolled her eyes. "Please, Mom, he wouldn't have fit in. He'd probably complain about everything." They laughed. My parents, my sister, the people I'd bent over backward for, laughing like I didn't exist, like I was some burden. I stood there, clutching my backpack, trying not to lose it in public. For years, I had paid their bills, covered Sarah's late rent, sent my parents grocery money every month, and now they couldn't afford to include me. But somehow, they could afford first-class seats to Italy. That moment, something in me broke. I didn't confront them. I didn't shout or cry. I just stood there and watched as they boarded, still laughing. And when they disappeared through the gate, I walked straight to the airport cafe, sat down, and ordered a black coffee. I felt stupid, used, but mostly, I felt done. That's when I decided something I never thought I would. I wasn't going to be their walking wallet anymore. No more random transfers. No more emergency payments. No more pretending I was part of a family that clearly saw me as nothing more than a backup plan. For the first time in my life, I was going to let them struggle. Little did I know that one decision would turn into the biggest storm my family had ever faced. And it would expose secrets I never saw coming. 2 weeks later, my parents came back from their budget trip to Italy, tanned, smiling, posting pictures all over Facebook. You'd think they'd at least try to hide it from me, but nope. My sister Sarah had uploaded a full vlog-style album titled Family Time in Rome. Every picture made my stomach twist. My dad holding gelato, my mom standing in front of the Colosseum, my niece and nephew throwing coins into the Trevi fountain. There wasn't a single mention of me. Not one. No wish Danny was here. Nothing. 3 days later, my phone buzzed. "Mom, hey, honey, how are you? We missed you." "Missed me?" I stared at the text, half smiling at the irony. Still, I answered politely, "I'm fine. How was the trip?" Within a minute, she replied, "Oh, it was amazing. But your dad's credit card got overcharged. We're dealing with that now. Anyway, could you help Sarah out with her rent again this month? She overspent a bit during the trip, and there it was, the first emergency after their luxurious getaway. I typed out a response and deleted it 5 times. Finally, I wrote, "I can't help this month. Money's tight." That was a lie. I could have helped. But I didn't want to. Not anymore. For the first time in years, I wanted them to face the same reality they always dumped on me. A few hours later, Sarah called. Her tone was different, cold, sharp. "Mom said you can't help. Really? After everything we've done for you?" I laughed out loud. "Everything you've done for me?" She didn't even flinch. "You're being dramatic. We invited you to dinner last week. I couldn't believe it." "You mean the dinner I wasn't told about until you posted it on Instagram?" Silence. Then she sighed like I was the problem. "Whatever, Danny. You've changed. You used to care about family." She hung up. That call hit harder than I expected. For a few hours, I questioned myself. Was I being petty? Was I taking this too far? But then, my best friend Mark reminded me, "Bro, they've used you for years. You're not being petty, you're being smart." And he was right. The following weeks, my family started to feel the shift. No more quick money transfers. No surprise payments to cover their bills. I even stopped answering every urgent call from my mom. At first, they were confused, then angry. My dad left a voicemail saying, "Son, we're family. We help each other." That line nearly made me laugh, because I realized "we help each other" only applied when they needed something. Things started to spiral when Sarah's landlord gave her an eviction notice. She texted me a photo of it with the message, "Are you happy now?" I didn't reply. Then my mom showed up at my apartment. First time in months. She had that calm but guilty look she always used when she wanted something. "Danny, honey, I know things have been weird lately," she said softly. "But we're family. You can't just cut us off." I stayed quiet. She continued, "Your sister made mistakes. We all did. But we love you. You've always been the responsible one. The strong one." That sentence hit me differently. Not because of what she said, but how she said it. It wasn't love. It was manipulation. They didn't want me. They wanted my stability. For the first time, I looked her in the eye and said, "Mom, I'm done being the strong one for everyone but myself." Her eyes widened. "Danny, please, you don't mean that." "I do. You went on a first-class vacation after telling me you couldn't afford to bring me. You laughed about it. And now you're here asking for help again." Her face turned red. "You shouldn't have been eavesdropping." That was it. The moment I realized she wasn't sorry. She was caught. I walked her to the door and said, "Mom, I'm not your bank anymore. You'll figure it out." She left without another word. That night, I expected to feel guilty, but I didn't. For the first time in my life, I slept peacefully. Little did I know, my peace wouldn't last long. Because 2 weeks later, Sarah did something that crossed a line I could never forgive. After that day, things went quiet. Too quiet. For almost 2 weeks, I didn't hear from anyone in my family. No calls, no texts, no fake "miss you" messages. I started to think maybe they'd finally accepted it, that I was done being their personal ATM, but I should have known better. It started with a strange phone call from my HR manager at work. "Hey, Danny, just wanted to confirm something. We received an anonymous email claiming you've been committing financial fraud." My stomach dropped. "What?" He explained that someone had sent screenshots of fake money transfer proofs and claimed I'd been using company funds to send money to family members. Of course, it was all fake. I'd never even had access to company finances. But still, hearing that accusation made my blood run cold. I spent hours clearing it up. Luckily, HR was reasonable, and after reviewing everything, they closed the case. But before hanging up, my manager said, "Danny, I'm not supposed to tell you this, but the email came from someone named Sarah Collins. Does that name mean anything to you?" I didn't even need to answer. My silence said it all. I couldn't believe it. My own sister had tried to get me fired. That night, I sat staring at my phone, debating whether to call her or drive to her house. My hands were literally shaking. After everything I'd done for her, this was how she paid me back? I ended up calling her. She didn't even sound guilty. "Oh, please, Danny, don't be so dramatic," she said. "You think I'd risk my job just to mess with yours?" I said quietly. "I know it was you. HR told me." There was a long pause. Then she said, "You had it coming. You abandoned your family." Those words, they made something inside me snap. "I didn't abandon anyone," I said through gritted teeth. "I just stopped letting you use me." Then she laughed. "Good luck pretending you're some innocent victim. You've always thought you were better than us." I hung up before I said something I'd regret. That night, I couldn't sleep. Every memory of me helping her, paying her rent, buying her groceries, even covering her car repairs, replayed in my mind. All of it. And this is where it led. By morning, I knew I had to protect myself. I started saving screenshots, old bank transfers, texts, everything. I backed it all up. Then I called my parents and told them everything Sarah had done. But instead of being shocked, my mom sighed and said, "Danny, you probably provoked her." That sentence hit harder than anything Sarah had done. They weren't even surprised. That's when I realized this wasn't a family. It was a system built around using me. And now that I'd stopped, they were turning against me. So I did something that would finally end it. I blocked them, all of them. My mom, dad, sister. Every number, every social media account. I even changed my email address. The piece that followed was strange, uncomfortable at first, but freeing. Weeks passed. I focused on work, started going to the gym again, met new people. Slowly, I began feeling like myself again. But just as life was settling, one morning, I got a message from a number I didn't recognize. It was a picture, my parents' house, with a "for sale" sign in front of it. Then a second message. "You happy now? You destroyed this family." It was from Sarah. I stared at the photo for a long time. I wanted to feel guilty. I really did. But I couldn't. They'd built their entire comfort on my back. All I'd done was step away. A week later, I heard through a cousin that my parents had to sell their house because of unpaid debts. And the craziest part? Those debts were the same ones I used to quietly pay off for years. I didn't celebrate. I didn't feel victorious. I just finally understood my worth. Still, part of me wondered, was there ever a version of this story where they loved me for me, and not for what I could give them? I guess I'll never know. But what happened next? That was something even I didn't see coming. Because just when I thought I was free, my mom showed up at my job, begging for forgiveness. It had been almost 2 months since I cut my family off. Life was finally calm again. I woke up without panic. I wasn't checking my phone every hour for guilt-tripping messages or fake emergencies. For once, my life was mine. Then, one Thursday afternoon, everything flipped again. I was at work when the receptionist called my extension. "There's a woman here asking for you. Says she's your mother." My heart sank. I didn't want to see her, not after everything, but something in me said I should. When I stepped into the lobby, there she was. My mom looked nothing like the woman who'd gone to Italy 2 months ago. Her hair was messy, eyes red, clothes wrinkled. She looked broken. "Danny," she whispered. "Please, I just need 5 minutes." I nodded and led her outside to the parking lot. For a few seconds, neither of us spoke. Then she started crying. "I'm sorry," she said through tears. I didn't know how bad things were. I should have stopped Sarah. I stood there, arms crossed, unsure what to believe. "Why are you here, Mom?" She wiped her face. "Because everything's gone. The house, the savings, even Sarah's car got repossessed. I don't know what to do." I swallowed hard. "You could start by apologizing for lying to me." "I am," she said softly. I really am. Then she took a deep breath and said something that made my chest tighten. Danny, the truth is, your dad's credit card debt wasn't from the trip. It was from covering Sarah's gambling problem. I blinked. What? She nodded slowly. She's been gambling online for almost 2 years. That's where all the money went. Every emergency, every late rent, every random loan. She was trying to cover her losses before anyone found out. I didn't know what to say. I just stood there, stunned. All those years I thought I was helping her survive. I'd been fueling her addiction. Mom kept talking, voice trembling. When you stopped sending money, she panicked. She thought if she ruined your job, she could guilt you back into helping. My throat went dry. And you went along with it? She shook her head, crying again. No, I didn't know she did that. But I didn't stop her either. I didn't protect you, and I'll regret that for the rest of my life. That last sentence. It finally cracked the wall I'd built around my heart. I sighed. Mom, I don't hate you, but you all hurt me so deeply. I don't even know where to start. I know, she said quietly. I just wanted you to hear the truth. Sarah's in rehab now. Your father's working double shifts. We're trying to fix things, but I don't expect you to forgive us. For a long time, we stood in silence. Then I said, I don't know if I can ever trust you again, but I'm glad you told me. She nodded and walked away. And just like that, years of manipulation, guilt, and false love finally ended. I didn't help them financially after that. But a month later, I sent Sarah a message through her rehab counselor. I hope you get better. Take care of yourself. She never replied, but I didn't need her to. For the first time in my life, my peace didn't depend on their approval. I stopped being the family fixer, the emotional punching bag, the one who held everyone together while falling apart himself. Instead, I learned something far more valuable. Sometimes, walking away isn't cold. It's survival, and maybe that's what real strength looks like. Top Reddit comments say things like, wow, I didn't see that twist coming about the gambling. He finally stood up for himself. That ending hit hard. This is one of the most emotional family stories I've read here. He didn't get revenge. He got peace, and that's better. Sarah's downfall was karma served cold. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed the story. See you in the next video for more crazy tales.